Live trading room open to trade stock and options using our technology. Good afternoon, Fred. How are you? This is my brief bio. Disclosures are very important. Please read them. Trading stock and options involve risk, not suitable for everyone. If this is the first time you see this disclosure, I encourage you to visit optionscreen.com so you can understand the risk associated with trading stock and options. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not registered with FINRA nor SEC. I'm showing you what I do in my own account based on my own risk tolerance level for general education information purposes only. All right, trading psychology is important. This is something we covered this morning. So let's look at the Fed decision. The farm market is basically neutral, right? S&P is flat. We have pullback in silver and gold, and we do have moved to the upside in yield. So I would watch the 10-year yield. All right, 25 basis point cuts projected, 3 rate cuts, 2 more rate cuts this year, 3 more rate cuts next year. I'm not sure if Powell said anything new or different, but at least initial reaction on the bond market, 5-year, 10-year yield is up. I don't think there's any new signal or dislocation, kind of a still weak rebound. So one day is not enough. I think now people are going to concentrate until the next earnings season, right? We're going to concentrate on the employment data. So and inflation data, right? So anything that has to, that can contribute to dual mandate of the Fed, right? So, I think if we get a positive news from the initial jobless claims, right? If it's less than 240,000, then I think market is going to continue grinding higher, and maybe rates stabilize. If we have another surprise, 263 to 280,000 initial jobless claims, well, I think then I think the market will pull back. So that would be probably the most important decision. Other than that, next week, Fed speak, advanced retail and inventories. I mean, I don't see anything. PC is kind of already expected. It's probably nothing new. So we do have expiration, so it'll be interesting to see what the end result is in terms of market reaction. But you can see actually the hedging is picking up slowly. So as of this morning, before the Fed decision, right, the 6,500, right? So 6,500 is your main put wall and support, overhead resistance 6,600. Session low, we touched right to the spot 6,550, right? That was almost to the penny, 6,550. And that support held the market, right? And now it bounced back and it's at 6,600. So we're kind of still trading between 6,500 and 6,600. I'm inclined to maybe see if we can sell that call spread for tomorrow. Let's see. With the idea that there's no new information and we're not going to break 6,600. I mean, obviously, if employment all of a sudden gets better situation, I guess it could, but I'm going to assume that employment, will continue to cool off. So I'm going into September 18. Again, $1 spread. I can sell 661, 662. Kind of repeat the trade that Fred and I did for past. Again, I mean, I'm risking 37 cents. Let's see. And sorry, I'm trying to make. Great. What time is it? 2:21. Why is that not going through? Oh, it is going through. Okay. So the idea is that if I'm right, then maximum gain is 38 cents. If I'm wrong, maximum gain is 62 cents. And this will depend largely, I think, tomorrow on initial claims. So expectation is 240,000. So I think anything above 250,000, and I think then you could have another pullback. So that would be the trade. In terms of other positions, let's see. Let's send a signal. What do I have? Apple so far is actually doing quite nicely, I think. Right, so it's that overhead resistance. I trim my position. Let's see, maybe even close Apple. It's kind of facing overhead resistance. 239.08. Let's see, what did I hit? 239.55. I mean, it's so far I don't have a lot of position. Okay, so Apple is doing well. I would be maybe buyer into pullbacks if we do revisit to 30 to 25 level. Maybe just repeat the trade again. Fred EWT. Sorry, I did not send the text message. That's why I didn't get it. But next time I'll send the text message for paid program. I mean, AWT kind of, I mean, session, we had a session high. So right now, I mean, last sale is actually $1.40. So it looks like it's going in the right direction. Micron is also, despite market volatility, making new high. So Micron seems to work well, continues to grind higher. I mean, QQQ hedge, I would hold on to the QQQ hedge for now. We did have pretty, I mean, meaningful pullback. We were at 584 in the middle of the press conference. So we'll see. So for now, QQQ, I mean, I'm getting close to 50% loss, but you know, I'm gonna keep that hedge on for now. And STX continues to outperform at this point. It's deep in the money, 185, 195 call spread. We're making new highs, so I think that continues to be bullish. Any questions on the positions? Patrick, sorry, I did not catch what time you joined. I'll repeat quickly. So for now, 10-year, no new signal, right? It's trading between 4% and 410. So I don't see any reaction. VIX pull back 6%. QQQ is flat. Equal weighted S&P is up, right? Spiders are actually flat. Small caps, right? Small caps has been volatile, but we did make new high, and you can see pretty large volume, right? Above average volume. So I mean, ideally you wanted to close, you know, toward the 244 range, right? Because if we close toward 235 or lower, you know, that could be just, you know, kind of indicating that no more buyers left. So above average volume, so I would keep an eye on the small caps volume. I mean, Spiders volume, probably nothing unusual. Regional banks, also pretty large volume in regional banks. So we'll see how it goes. Gold pullback, silver, pretty sharp pullback in silver and gold. Consumer staples, people are buying consumer staples. Precious metals, platinum is also pulling back. Let's see, Bitcoin, kind of no new signal, just staying in the same level. We do have sharp pullback in NVIDIA. So NVIDIA is below 50-day moving average, revising this lower Bollinger Band. So NVIDIA continues to be under pressure from the news flow from China. In Elite, I did sell 230, 661, 662 call spread, with the idea that Spiders, you know, SPX will hold to the highs. You know, we will not have a breakout, right? Which is 66.24 is our highs. On SPX, we were as low as 65.50. So tomorrow, after initial claims data, right, which is the main probably data point, that, you know, if that comes in harder than expected, I think market is going to pull back. So that's the information. Any questions? All right, so let's send alert. Let's see. Let's see how's the yield doing. Yield toward the upper range. Yeah, yield I think is more important towards the yield, but again, no new signal for now. All right, so let's send that alert. Custom. All right, so we're talking about SPY. And this is open SPY position. This credit call spread. And here's the symbols. Sell to open, buy to open. Best execution. Current price is 38 cents. 38 cents. Okay. So that's T. This is aggressive power trader. Dynamic power trader. Sorry. I don't know if you guys have any questions, Fred, Patrick. Options wasn't so, yeah. I mean, I agree that there's pretty wide bid and ask spread. I mean, it's above. Question was on EWT. I mean, 4 million shares, 2.5 million shares, pretty wide bid-and-ask spread. I do agree. And Keith said SMH, TSM is a large portion of that. So I guess we could have done TSM instead, but that was the model identify, and you know, the trade we did. But I agree with you, it's not the SPY trade. Okay, very good. Thank you. You can also ask Keith, but he pays more attention to momentum and signal, identifying just volume of the stock for the most part. Sure. All right. So for now, 10-year yield, let's see. I mean, toward the upper range of the range. You know, I guess people wanted more aggressive Fed cuts, rate cuts. Dollar is, I mean, stable, but you know, made new lows, 96. So it did break through the July lows. High yield is stable. I mean, liquid bonds looks like pulling the corporate bonds. It looks like reversal. High yield looks like pulling back. VIX is at 15 handle. Value stock still positive. QQQ is still toward the upper range. Spiders toward the upper range. Small caps have been volatile, right? You have a pretty sharp. So I would watch the small caps. Like if we get a red candlestick, that would be negative on above average volume, could be exhaustive. Regional banks, similar. So we'll see. Anything else interesting? China looks like relentlessly going higher, so that's good. Hong Kong, Taiwan. Maybe WH would be better. So we have sharp pullback in Broadcom down, Oracle down 2%. All right, we have more people joining. Fred, Bob, Patrick, John, Tim, any questions? How many of you listened to the press conference? I actually listened for the most part of it. OCCJ is catching a bit. Looks like we're at the session high, so that's good. So looks like Oracle is recovering. Let's see. Well, Iran continues to grind higher. That's Fred's signal. IonQ moving higher. Computers, supermicrocomputers, not supermicrocomputers, but quantitative computing. Delta Airline finally catching a bid. Looks like NVO is trying to close this gap. Morgan Stanley trying to break out. Goldman Sachs is trying to break out. So banks are doing better. Looks like Netflix is doing a catch-up trade above 50-day moving average. Apple continues to grind higher. Tesla is higher. Small caps, mid caps are actually flat, and small caps are slightly higher. $20 minutes left. Let's see. Fred CMG. Let's look at CMG. I mean, it's still kind of a very weak rebound. I mean, it is moving up. I mean, I would stay away from restaurants in general. They've been weak. I think the retail numbers are up in the top 10 tier, right, based on the income. So high earners, right, the top 5-10%, that's where all the money being spent, and everyone else kind of flat in terms of retail sales there. So and I think restaurants are impacted by this, so I would stay away from some of these restaurants. Let's see what's in that category. Let's see, Yum. Yum is actually sideways. TRI. Yeah, still weak. Pizza Hut. Yeah, I mean, the restaurants are breaking down, so I would stay away from restaurants, my opinion. Thank you, Fred. Any other questions? Let's see, Apple. So Apple looks good. Amazon looks weak. Microsoft looks weak. Google is still strong. Tesla strong. JP Morgan breaking out. Nvidia is still weak. DX is flat. Broadcom is weak. Uh, 15 minutes. So last 15 minutes, that's when volume picks up. Let's see how the market reacts. Yeah, so spiders are still glued to the 6,600. and we're 13 minutes away from the market close. What else is moving? So retail, metals and miners, flat. So banks, right? XLF is probably the biggest beneficiary. Home builders, probably one of the worst reaction. Makes sense, interest sensitive sector. Transportation moving lower. All right, still 50. It looks like we're gonna close, close to that 6,600, right? Pretty well positioned. At 6,600, that's the, call wall. 65.50, kind of a small support. So for now it's holding, and we'll see if, how much position is going to be built in September. It's $137 billion. Pretty well positioned till Friday, but then it's going to start expiring, and we'll see how much hedging going on. All right, Lalit, thank you for joining. Earnings, we're gonna do FedEx tomorrow. FedEx announcing earnings. I did do SPY call spread. Sold 661, 662 call with the idea that SPX is not gonna break out of the today's high. All right, thank you very much. Have a great day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Keith will be at the morning bell, and I will do the closing bell. Again, for spiders tomorrow, just the most important not to get assigned. So before market close, you want to make sure you're going to close the spread. Keep an eye on text messages and email. I will send it out as soon as I close my order, or right before I close my order, so you guys have time to close the position as well. All right, that's all I have today. Thank you very much and have a great day.